I hope it's progress I make tonight. I wanted to share a story with you, if I may. And if you stick with me through this story, at the end, I will share a lesson with you, the most important lesson I ever learned concerning my aspects of religion. I was reminiscing the other day about things I enjoyed as a child, and I remembered that I really enjoyed going to Sunday school and playing with the popsicle sticks and glue. Now, normally we would find a picture of Jesus and glue it on the stick, and I couldn't find a picture of Jesus, but I had a little bit of the boy in me. So one of the things we like to do was to make these. And anybody ever do that? I'll teach you how afterwards if you're interested. So as far as I was concerned, a sermon was just the cost of admission. But I did love to sit next to my mother and hear her sing. So I went through a journey towards my personal truth, accidental as it may be, and I'd like to share that with you tonight. I was raised a Methodist, and the only church I ever went to other than that was a Lutheran church, my aunt's Lutheran church, and it seemed the same to me, no difference. So there was a letter difference. They were one letter apart in the phone book. And I thought that all churches, because of their names, that's why they were named differently, so you could find them in the phone book. And I didn't know anything, of course, so I was approaching puberty when I heard somebody referred to as a Jew. I don't think it was in a negative sense. I went home, asked my parents, what country are they from? What do they look like? I got the birds and bees speech of religion in my parents' native tongue. You know that tongue, blah, 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 blah. But what I got out of it was the friends that we always went to visit who had the best toys. They were Jewish. So I thought, well, okay, they're probably like my church, except they hide theirs a little bit better, probably to help protect their toys. In high school, I went with a group, of course, and they were all going to the Baptist church, so I went there. Didn't see anything too remarkable about it, except a couple of things I'll get to. I met the love of my life there. I sang in the choir, and I played my guitar for their freaky road show of Jesus Christ Superstar. And what was different was at the end of the ceremony, it was a call to faith, asking if you wanted to be born again. Hey, I had just survived puberty. I was ready to be born again, believe me. So I conceded. Then my love of my life wanted me to belong to the church. Okay, but you have to be baptized. Well, I've been baptized. A couple of sprinkles on my head. That wasn't going to hurt me. My naivety assured me. So I was still totally without a clue when I was getting dressed in the white gown. Just for a few drops, Then they wheeled a huge, humongous swimming pool on wheels across the stage. And the preacher was wearing a white robe too, and there were stairs going up to it. We're talking full immersion here, okay? Backwards full immersion. When I climbed out of that water, I felt like I had graduated into heaven, a wet heaven. I was in college, and I needed an elective, and I took world religions, which I really loved. I studied the Bhagavad Gita, read the Koran, and I became a whirling dervish of Sufism in my mind. My next love of life I met in college, and I was taken to the Episcopal Church, and once again, basics were there. And the one part that they did different was hugging everybody. They had a session where they were hugging, and I thought that was pretty cool, but I did learn that you had to arrive a little bit on the late side so you could strategically place yourself for those hugs. You had to be a little careful there. And then, I didn't know, but that was only a warm-up, all right? my love of life was wanting to be married in the Catholic Church. And so I became a Catholic. My dad taught at a Catholic college. They were nice folks. I took the classes before marriage, before the plunge this time of marriage, and I appreciate those classes. And I thought confession was the greatest thing since sliced bread. And this is where I met my greatest spiritual dilemma. I am not a kneeler. I do not kneel on the knees. No way. And so a little while later, that love of my life, I did forget about I wanted to tell you that after the baptism thing I had been sent to Vietnam, and I was trying to avoid baptism in the Gulf of Tonkin. And that's when that love of life disappeared. So this was a new love of life, and I became a Catholic. And when that love evaporated, I hate to say it, but I was looking forward to giving my knees a rest. And so the next love of my life, fortunately, was a non-practicing Catholic, and I rested on those laurels for years after that. Until one day, my love took a walk, and I took a walk. And while I was jogging, back in the Cedar I thought it was a new Chinese restaurant. And all of a sudden, a Buddhist monk in orange popped out of the bushes, bowed, and smiled and waved. And by accident, I had met the Occident, and I became Buddhist. I was happy for a long time, but there they had kneeling, and it was like a calisthenics yoga kneeling. I mean, we're talking face to the floor kneeling. And, I was praying real hard, believe me. I was praying for relief in the knees. So I've decided when I moved, I'd never join another religion, that I had to turn off 2 lights to continue. And so, anyway, I'll rush it here at the end. I want to share that one thing I promised to share you with. My philosophy after all these religions it's in the form of a question. Why can't we all get along and just play with the popsicle sticks and glue? Thank you.